Hi, welcome to another episode of Africa Talks Tech. In today's show, we're going to be focused on African women in technology, specifically one great story, a journey from the service desk to a CEO of her own organization. And this is with Olabasi Aso. So please enjoy the conversation because this is going to be a blast.
Hi, everybody. You're welcome to today's episode of the African Talk Tech with myself, Kazim, and Samuel Esken. Samuel, just a quick introduction from you, and then we can get things started.
Sure. Hi, welcome everybody back to another fantastic version of the show. I'm Samuel Erskine, also known as simply Sam, based out in the UK, but formerly from Ghana, still from Ghana in my heart, and welcome to the show. And I believe we have a special guest today, Kazim.
Yeah, sure, we do. So again, my name is Kazim Degwega. I'm based here in Nigeria. And yes, today we're going to be talking African women in tech, a journey from the service desk to the CEO with Olabasi Aso herself. So you're very much welcome on the show, Olabasi Aso.
Thank you very much, Kazim. Simply Sam, thank you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
So just before we delve right into the show proper now, so I'd like for you to introduce yourself so that people listening to us right now can get to learn a little bit more about you. So it's over to you now, Olabasi Aso.
All right, my name is Olabasi Aso. I graduated as a computer and electronics engineer some years back, and I started my career in IT 19 years ago on the service desk, and I worked on some of the large service desks you can think of here in Nigeria. And I moved into the management role in IT 11 years ago. Currently, I work as the lead consultant and CEO for SupportLink Technologies, and we are an IT solutions company. I think I'll keep it that brief.
Wow, that's excellent. And for those that sometimes take a look at a name and don't know how to pronounce it, what's the easiest way to get your name right? Because I have it as Olabasi. Is that
Olabasi? Yes. Some call me Ola, some call me BC, some call me Labisi. So I think BC is the easiest.
Oh, excellent. I like that too. We will dive straight into some of the more interesting questions. I'm sure you've been on a few things where people ask you, if you had one wish, what's the one thing you wish you had known before you began your career?
All right, that's an interesting one. One thing I wish I'd known is the power of networking. Mm-hmm. When you start out on your career, you tend to limit your circle with the people you work with. Really, what I wish I had known earlier is that networking outside your company is essential for your success. You need to make out time. You need to look out for that opportunity to network, whether you're attending conferences, whether you're going to trade show, whether you're going for the networking drinks, if there are any, all right? And you need to also engage with those you have contact with. It could be a simple hello, it could be an email, it could be a phone call, it could be an SMS. The reason is very simple. See, that next collaboration, that next sales lead, that next job opportunity is going to come from those who you network with. So it had to be a big one for you to be able to harness all the opportunities therein. So I would say that we really need to, or I would have wished that done that much more earlier on in my career.
Okay, so I know now that statistically in tech companies now, women are more likely to take sales, marketing, but you've been in tech for a while now. So I would like your take on this. On this, what advice do you have for someone pursue a career just like yours?
All right, I would say this, that especially for us who are ladies, When we start working, we need two things. We need a mentor and we need an advocate. Now, what does a mentor do? A mentor would ensure that a mentor sees qualities in you that you might most likely not see in yourself. So what your mentor will do is to guide you, to ensure that all those inherent attributes in you come to light, all right? Then when you are working in an establishment, don't just assume that everything will be on merit. I'll be candid with you. Office politics is real.
Yeah.
All right. Meritocracy is not the norm. And
Yeah.
if you're going to play in that field, then you need an advocate. An advocate who understands you, that you understand, and would speak for you. So you're in a boardroom, and before you go into that boardroom, you have had a discussion with your advocate. So when you're going into that room, you're already having a backup. So I would say that we as women should not limit ourselves to the sales or marketing side of IT. We can actually plunge into it. I do a lot around consulting. And for you to be able to do that, it means you need to understand the technology in depth. So if you're going to pursue a career like mine, I think you need to have a mentor and an advocate. And I have been very fortunate. I've had leaders and bosses who are truly advocates. They've advocated for me and they've given me that platform to rise. And I'm, in fact, eternally grateful to these men, because my being of the other gender had never affected what I bring to the table. And I think I owe that to them. So another thing I would add is we all can't continue to be IT executives alone. I'm sorry, IT experts. We need to become executives. We need to sit on the table. We need to make decisions. And as a woman, don't think about doing your IT certifications only. When you start your career, do everything. Help everybody in the organization. Work with IT, yes. Work with HR, work with sales, work with accounting. Have an understanding of how all this make an organization successful. Believe you me, that experience is priceless, because you're going to need it on that in that boardroom to make that decision.
That's so fantastic to hear. And actually, I was having a conversation with one of the champions for diversity and inclusion within my own organization. It's a lady called Catherine Stewart. And she was sharing a similar thing to say that you actually need to have a sponsor. So as you were mentioning with an advocate, you did mention that you had a lot of men help you. What I'm curious about is today, do you believe that there are more women to look up to for, say, women getting into the same space as you that could act as those advocates more than before?
Exactly. And I think a lot of men are actually stepping into that role. What I would love to see is more women stepping into that role where we advocate. And for me as an individual, on my team, I have a lot of female. And it's not out of bias because I'm women, but I feel I could impact more. I could mentor them to become their role model. Yes, there are a lot of men who are stepping up to be advocates for women, and women also need to rise up to that challenge as well.
Excellent. Yeah. So I just want to build a little bit, just a little switch. We talked about careers, right? And often, I mean, technology has been in Africa for a very long time, and we've been innovating around things like fintech, etc. I want to get your view on today, as somebody that's on the ground. How do you see Africa contributing to the advances in technology, or the drivers to new things in technology today?
I think we're actually in the driver's seat, if you ask me. We're actually doing very well. We are doing very well in that regard. Now, I'll be candid. There are two opinions to this. Some feel that when it comes to technology, we're at the bottom of the pack. And that is when you look at it from the governance part. So bad governance has affected certain mileage we should have gotten in technological advancement. But when you talk about skill and technological businesses, I know that Africa has made a mark. We have not allowed our poverty, we have not allowed our economic condition, we have not allowed race to be a determining factor. We typically don't use technology for talking and texting only.
Yeah.
The only thing that hurts me is that we build the skill, we build the businesses, and we are losing it via brain drain to even the developed world. We have someone like you. We should start thinking of how to bring you back home. And I am very concerned about this. I'll be candid. I know we do application development in my company, and I know how many of my guys have had to relocate to Canada because they're looking for a better way of life. Now, if conditions here were favorable, that won't happen. So if that is happening to us, I don't think we need to question whether we are leveraging on technology. We have the skill and we have the businesses to drive this.
Okay. By the way, I'm curious now, how do you spend your time as a CEO of a tech company?
All right. I think that decision is not something I made when I became a CEO. There is something I had decided at the beginning of my career, and that has been the guiding principle to today. Okay. And I am a mom. I have 4 kids. Wow. And all my life, I have said that I am going to be a mom. So what I do is I build my career around my kids and my kids around my career, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So, so they are interwoven. So what happened when they were much younger, they're now teenagers, okay, was that where I work, it's part of it. I take them to school in the morning, drop them off. My driver picks them up, brings them back to the office. I do their homework. We close together and we go home. It's a little bit stressful. So what I would say is there are certain decisions you have to make, and then make, your pivotal decision, and every other thing revolves around that. So today I have more time because they're all teenagers. They all can make their meals, so I'm freer now. So how do I spend my day? My typical day starts at 5 in the morning. I mean, that's, and I have a schedule of when I want to do my meals, when I want to do my training. I do a lot of training online. I'm an advocate. I hardly go to classroom training. Then I have sessions with my team. So everything is laid down. I am a very good use of Outlook calendar, if you know what I mean. So I keep getting bosses here and there. And that's basically, it's just itemizing what I need to do and allocating time to them.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So let me ask you this also before Samuel will come up with this question now. What industry do you see leveraging technology the most? In the most innovative way in Africa today?
It's actually fintech. It's actually the financial sector. I'll be candid. And see what we have done with USSD in Africa. Sam, do you use something like that in the UK?
No. I think you have to upgrade me to complicated Sam now. So.
All right. So what USSD means is, if I use a bank, I don't need internet to do my bank transaction. I can type a code on my phone and I can do a transfer. I can buy airtime on my phone. I can, So what the fintech industry have done in Africa, in Nigeria, is that we have evolved to meet our local need. All right. And the revolution and evolution in that sector is just beginning. That is it. Let me just mention, for example, look at what we have done in the payment gateway, for instance. Someone like, what's his name? Oluremi, Abi Olubenga Ayola, that's Flutterwave. Shola Akinlade, I guess, of Paystack. They are both competitors, but look at what they have done in terms of payment gateway. And the patronage is now global. So the fintech has really leveraged on technology. And as much as I hate COVID,
Yeah.
it has its own good side. Education and agriculture are now becoming the new entrance into using technology, and we need to watch out for that space. A lot of online schooling platform has come up. I'm even aware of an indigenous company that is now using drones to manage farms, large farms, to even exactly to spread insecticides, to give you area photograph of your weeds and all that. So what I'm saying is that, yes, fintech, but schooling, education, and agric is going to be the next gold mine. So let's watch out for that space.
I do agree. And, having, grown up in Ghana and stuff like that, I know, like you said, governance, right? So even land ownership and stuff, people used to put fences around there to try and protect it. So when you mentioned a drone, it actually makes sense, because now you can actually look over the land, not just from an agricultural perspective, but from a security perspective as well.
Beautiful. That is it.
Oh, excellent. Well, this has been fantastic, and we like to give things away to me. And what I want to give away to me today is, definitely would love to have you as one of my mentors. So we're going to have to take some extra details and also share it out there. But would our listeners be able to reach out to you for advice regardless of where they are as well?
Oh, yes. My LinkedIn profile is very open. If you send me a connect, I would accept. If you send me a message, I would respond. I am very, very available. I think I would stick to my LinkedIn profile.
Oh, excellent. Well, we can do that. I'll find other means of making sure that I get some of that wisdom and grow. And you never know, you may be able to take me back to Africa after all, because my heart lives there.
I am really looking forward to that. We need to make sure the environment is conducive for you, indigenous Africans, to come back home.
Absolutely, and we have the virtual world. So I wanted to leave the final piece to you, right? We, as two men, have titled this session, but actually I don't see myself as a man. I just see myself as a citizen of the universe, right? Okay. But we wanted to just get your view on this particular topic, because I feel it's been labeled, women in tech, this and that. But what's the view from somebody that actually lives it, breathes it? And I love the fact that you're a mother as well, and you're building this whole piece around it. But if you were to title this session yourself, how would you title it?
Well, I would still say women in tech, sincerely, because a lot of people think that we can't, as women, we should be in the kitchen, as it were. So technology seems not to be our game, but that's not true. Okay. So as women in technology, I think that is the best. There are a lot of associations that are actually built around this, where you could actually network and learn how other women are championing their position within the organization. So that's what I would also call it. And I would say that personally, I'm advocating for more women to become IT experts and IT executive. And I'll be candid, it is not an easy road to tour. It isn't. It is a difficult one, but it is worth the effort, because the more we can come into the space, the earlier we can change the conversation, the narration, and the culture as well. So I tell this to my women folk. Some of my friends, I would say, look, there is nothing wrong if you decide to slow down because you have to meet your obligation as a mother, as a woman. There is no sin. It is allowed. You can slow down, but don't go docile. Mm-hmm. All right? Keep abreast with technology. Take classes. Thank God for online classes. There are lots you can do these days. All right? Network keep abreast with what is happening so that when you have more free time, you can jump in, all right, and raise full force, as it were. So it's still women in tech, and it's still something that we can do successfully. I know one thing, Simple Sam. Let me tell you a story, and I think this will be the first time I'll be saying this. So I'm giving you something I have, except, okay, my husband knows about it, and I haven't mentioned this. Let me tell you one thing that spurred me into saying, BC, you're not just going to be an IT expert, you're going to be an executive, you're going to run a business of your own. I am a certified support center manager with HDI. And I went for an interview once with one of the top 5 banks in Nigeria as a service delivery manager. Sam, you know those interviews you go to, Kazim, you remember that, I have done well.
Yeah.
You are just waiting.
You're flying.
For someone to give you the letter. I knew in myself that I did well at this interview. So I now followed up, and I always follow up with every interview. And I'm like, what happened? Yeah. And the guy mentioned, he said, oh, BC, you are the best. I said, so? He said, because you are pregnant. And I'm like,
really?
Is that a terminal illness? And I said to myself, okay, so is that the reason? You asked me this question, and I said, it wouldn't affect my work. I mean, just give me your conditions around this, and I'll work with it. Yeah. Kazim, I won't lie to you. That day I made up my mind. I said, okay, I am going to have those kids, all right? And I'm still going to excel in this field. The journey is not easy. Really, I'll be candid. I have had to make so many sacrifices. But the question is, are those sacrifices worth it? Looking back 19 years, it is worth every sacrifice I have made. Is worth every effort. So we need more women in this field.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I'm so proud, speechless, and thankful that we've got to connect. And I'm definitely going to be reaching out. And you can also reach out to myself, because I also want to give back. Like you said, we live in the virtual world, so I can also be reached, and our details are available. So thank you very much for supporting us in this initiative. And Kazim, I don't know what you can say.
So I think I'm just still going to leave our guest on the show today with the parting words. So I think for time now, we need to wrap up. So is there any parting word from you now, before we call it a close on the show?
I want to say thank you for giving me this honor, this privilege to be on this show. And I am really hoping that this reaches out to every African men and women, to let all of us know that we can do this. We surely can. Black Lives Matters is because you are living in another country. Candidly, in Nigeria, we all have the same life. So we can be here and still make the difference. So let's all put hands together and let's make it happen.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much once again. So it's a privilege having you with us on the show today. So you've heard it from Olabasi Aso herself. So I hope you've been able to pick a lesson or two from the story that she has shared with us on the show today. So here is where we're going to draw the curtain on today's episode of the show. So please do watch out for more interesting episodes, from us on the show. And kindly remember to follow us on social media. You can have a rewatch of our past episode. So it's the Africa Talk Tech, across the social media platform. So Sam, any parting word from yourself before we say bye-bye?
Just goodbye and thank you, and everybody keep safe, and let's look after each other.
Okay, so it's bye-bye from every one of us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.